This is my first official video for YouTube. What is the housing market going to look like in 2026? Well, based on my data analysis, just a quick note, I am a Idaho Realtor and a tax accountant, and I study macroeconomics on a regular basis. Anyway, back to the topic. I think the 2026 housing market here in the Treasure Valley is going to trend down more. My evidence to support that is I've had numerous clients, tax clients even just come in this week. One is going through a bankruptcy. He actually tried to sell his house in Nampa in April at $490. Couldn't sell it. Ended up taking it off the market just recently. So that was on the market for 8 months. And now the value of it's under $450. I wasn't their realtor, by the way. If I was their realtor, I'd have told them, like, listen, don't list it at $490 because all the other houses are at $490. If you want to move your house, you need to list it at $470. Front run the downtrend market. If you would have front ran it, they would have sold the house and they would have pocketed a lot more money versus now the house isn't sold and they're going through bankruptcy now. So you have to be strategic. But anyway, back to the housing data. I've seen numerous 10% price cuts on houses. The builders are offering 30, 40 grand, so almost 10% off the purchase price. They're offering concessions. That puts a lot of pressure on existing homes. Now, this doesn't affect all markets. I think the luxury, ultra luxury markets, they're in their own little bubble, like always. So people with money are going to keep spending no matter what. They don't really care what the price is. But for the about slightly like the mid-range to low-range houses are going to be affected quite a bit. Like I said, all the houses I've been looking at have been price drops, or sit on the market forever. Like I've even seen some house on the market for a year. It's crazy. One of my clients, we bought him a house in July. I was working with him for 11 months before we got him a good deal. Because every time we put an offer on a house, we were front-running the market. And our offer was actually ended up better than what they actually sold the house for. Like they ended up selling the house for like 15, 20 grand more on multiple houses. We were just front running it. So we finally got a nice house in Boise on a 1/4 acre lot for $422. Bananas. Like they had that house listed for $460 originally. And we scooped it up and got it for $422 out the door. So I think we're going to see more houses get cheaper, and people argue with me, hey, rates are coming down, that means prices are going to go up. And I said, well, I don't think so. Because there are a lot of people that are rate locked that bought houses before the rates went up. A lot of them want to sell their houses and they can't, because if you're under a 4% and rates have been 7%, you can't move. Like your house payment almost doubles. So now if rates come down to under 6%, low 5s, even high 4s, you're actually probably going to see an explosion of inventory and you're not going to see as many qualified buyers. Unemployment rates just went up today. They went up 0.2, so up to 4.6%. Job layoffs are growing. Credit card debt, auto loan debt, student loan debt, all over $1 trillion. If you bought a house from May 22 on, it cost you $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a month just to live. If you have a $3,000 mortgage, you're paying $400 in utilities. You probably have a $700 car payment. You have $1,000 in food. You're not even counting credit cards. You need cell phone. You need auto insurance. You're talking 5, 6 grand just to get by every month. That's a lot that's take home money. So these are 2 income hold houses. I don't think there's enough people to go buy this next spring and summer. I think prices are going to come down. I think you're going to have an explosion of inventory and not enough qualified buyers. So I think, as I said, this is just my opinion. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But the market's been downtrending for the last 3 years. It peaked in July of 22 house prices. They've just been coming down slow. But bankruptcies are on the rise. Foreclosures are on the rise. the math says prices are going to go down. I don't think it's going to dump. I don't think we're going to have an '08. I would love to have an '08, but I think the cost of the build and inflation's so high. I think housing prices will have a floor, but median prices are anywhere from like $400,000 to $500,000 around here. I think they can come down another 10%. So if you're in the market and looking to buy a house next year, now's a good time to kind of set up a game plan. Like talk to a realtor, talk to a lender, see what you qualify for. Plus, Jerome Powell's leaving in May of 2026, and Trump's probably going to appoint Kevin Hassett, not official, but that's what it's looking like. They can hammer rates down another 1% in June. There's a Fed meeting in January, February, April. Jerome Powell's gone. Kevin Hassett comes in, or Kevin Warsh, one of them. And then they have another Federal Reserve meeting in June. So we could potentially have 3 more rate cuts, and then they can hammer rates down another 1%. As of today, you can get a conventional loan for 6.125, and a FHA is at like 5.375 right now. I think realistically, June, July of 2026, we could have 4% mortgage rates. I could be wrong, but I could be right. Either way, I still think housing prices are going to come down because there's not going to be enough buyers to buy the houses. So I'm excited. I'm actually looking to potentially buy myself. I actually might end up doing a build. So we'll see what happens. So I'm going to do videos at least once a week. I want to give good information, for taxes and real estate. I just want to give honest answers because I know a lot of realtors over the last few years just said, hey, guess what? Just buy now, refinance later. It's not a big deal. And if you didn't put a large down payment down, which a lot of people didn't, you can't refinance if you're underwater. So a lot of people are stuck with their 6-7% mortgage rates. And a lot of people I know got the temporary rate buy downs. So if you're in a bad spot, it may be better just to, take a haircut, get rid of your house. Because if you're paying $3,000 a month, you can literally go get a 2-bedroom apartment for $1,600. If you're in a good financial situation, like you have a good job, you have low debt, you have savings, you're going to be fine. But man, if your credit cards are maxed out, you don't have any savings, and someone loses their job, you're going to be in a bad situation really, really quick. So 2026 is going to be a very interesting year. I think economically, for some people, it's going to be really rough, but for some people that are paying attention, it's going to be great. So I'm here as a realtor. If you need help, or if you're trying to sell your house and you can't sell it, or if you don't know what to do, I'm happy to talk with you. I just want you to be in a good financial situation. So, sorry I was a little long-winded. I've never done a video like this before, so I'm learning. So, appreciate if you give my video a like. You don't need to subscribe yet because I don't have any content, but as I get more content, you can subscribe. So, thanks guys. See you later.